I joined the Air Force when I was 18. I went to Adelaide to do I done initial training, and there I done a fitters course, which they remustered me from a flight mechanic to a Fitter IIE. I done 3 months course there, and then I went to Melbourne, to Ascot Vale, and done an engine course, which was very awkward in those days because they didn't have the motors that they had. We had to learn motors out of Flight magazine and that sort of stuff. That's how bad it was. And then they took us practical experience. We had a Hawker Demon, a Wapiti, I think it was a Moth Miner, I'm not sure, and they one of the Wirramade's made of Harvard, I think it is, and that's what we trained on down there, or tried to anyhow. And then I went to Richmond. I was posted to Richmond in the engine maintenance place there. We were renovated, I suppose you'd call it, or engines. And first of all I went into the, what bay was it, the reduction gear engine bay, and then I went on to stripping the motors. And then one day they said, "You're posted." And I said, "Where am I posted to?" They said, "Rathmines." I said, "Where in the God and hell is Rathmines?" And they said, "Oh, well, we'll tell you. You get on the train at Central, and then you go to a Wobber, and then you get off the train there, and somebody will pick you up." So, because a few of us was on the train, we got there, and it was a godforsaken little hole there, and the truck took us down to Rathmines. And there I started my first work with Catalinas. I'd done what they call number 5 Catalina course. That was the last Catalina course because after that the Japs come into the war. But we done all sorts of things. We done semaphore, all the laws of this, what they have to do now when they go for a motorboat licence, you know, what lights to put on, how to anchor the aircraft, and all that sort of thing. Then we done, they split us up into flight engineers and ground staff. Well, I stayed on the ground staff. I had no choice, but it didn't matter. So anyhow, and that's how I started on the Catalinas. In February 1942, I got posted to Port Moresby. I worked a little bit on the Catalinas. They got shot out of there. And when we had no aircraft, because I was only in headquarters in Port Moresby. So when the 2 squadrons shifted out, 11 and 20 squadron, I was still in Port Moresby. Well, there was no aircraft. So I went and worked for what they call salvaging, around picking out the ordinary bombed out or shot up aircraft that were on the deck and salvaging them parts. And then I got tangled up with the Yankee pursuit squadrons, the 39th Pursuit and the 80th Pursuit. I worked with them for a little while. And then I got posted back to Bowen, which was a cat place where the squadrons were that came out of Port Moresby. And I was only there a fortnight, and then they sent me to Cairns, which was in those days was an AOB. So there was only a few of us there. And as far as the Air Force is concerned, I don't think we even existed, but I don't know why they always parked their aircraft in line. It was a beautiful bit of flying. These Japs come out in very low, strafed these 3 aircraft, went up, done a stall turn straight over the top of them and out, and they were gone, and the aircraft were all shot up. Well, I was more worried about myself because we were, they were bombing the ACAC behind us, which was up on top of the hill there, and they just come over the hill, and we could hear the bombs coming down, and we could hear them, and they come straight over the top of us. We could hear the bombs going over the top of us, not very far away. They would hear them coming down the hill, and then they went over the top of us. And how lucky you can be, because just the mess there, the mess men were in the trench. and the edge of the trench was there, and the bomb crater was there. Just like that, and the trench was there. They never got hurt, but I bet they got a hell of a shock. They make a funny sound, they make a swishing sound. They come down, they go, and then when they go over the top of it, they go, they go straight up. Of course, some of them, I never heard them, but we used to put little things on the fins so that they whistle when they came down. And also, another thing too, they used to get the beer bottles and put razor blade in the top of it and take them out and shot them overboard when they were bombing the drone, because they used to whistle coming down. We were going to get some fighters, so we used to call them Tomorrow Hawks. And so anyhow, I think sometime in April or March, I just forget now, in comes this flight, you see, with the Hudson leading them in, and it was 77 Squadron. And they flew in, when they started to land at Port Moresby, they got shot up by the AIF. But they're only on the ground, I suppose, about half an hour, and a Recco come over and they got stuck into that. And another funny thing there, one day at Port Moresby, the Jap Recco come out, we're watching it, because it was out further out on the 12-mile strip, that's where the fighters were. And we're watching it, the damn wing fell off it. Yeah, but the worst part about it, well, we used to do the same to the Japs. They used to send over their flying boats by night. And they were bloody good aircraft too, their flying boats. They had actually, one of them, I forget which one it was, had a better range than the Catalinas. But they used to come over and they used to try and get the ACAC, have a go at the ACAC, you see. And what they used to do, they used to circle around the moon. And then that'd be one of them, and another one would be off, and trying to pick up where the ACAC was, but they wouldn't fire by night, so they never got them. But I was talking about ACACs, I seen a remarkable thing there one day. There was 2 Corvettes stuck on the reef, and they came in, and the first time they had radar on the ACAC guns, and they fired 6 shots and knocked down 3 Japs. It was a marvellous thing. It's the only time I've ever seen it. I've seen a lot of ACAC fire going on up there, but it's the only time I've ever seen that happen. And of course we had our own boat called the Monica, and that was a 3,500 ton ship. And I've seen 7 aircraft chase it all around Port Moresby Harbour. And the skipper of that, he was marvellous. He just laid on his back. And this is what the blokes tell me on board, you see. Well, first of all, when he was in at the wharf, and he got, this is only hearsay, that he was watching the Japs come in, and he had the ship full speed, but it's still on the wharf. And he had blokes with the axes. And as soon as he said right, and they just chopped the horses off, thing, and it took off. And of course, when the bombs went, it wasn't there, it was out further. And they just said he laid on his back and watched them, and every time they dropped the bomb, he knew which way they were going. He'd watch the aircraft, and when the bombs started to fall, he'd go ship either at starboard or port. And that was a marvellous bit, and never hit it. And I'll tell you another funny thing. They said 26 bombers over. I don't know what they were going to do. They must have thought there must be a hell of a lot of shipping in the harbour. There's one little Dutch ship, it was only a small ship. And and I was talking to the skipper after the raid. They dropped 420 bombs and hit nothing. And they just made them all round his little ship, you see. And he was very crooked. And I said, what are you cranky about that for? I said, never hurt your ship. And he said, I had my white uniform on. And when the bombs went off and they put all the muck out the harbour all over and messed my white uniform up,